reaction. So a quick clarification. First, I speak.
Yudee, what are you listening to? It sounds like my voice. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode, to another live stream, to another moment with your favorite Nigerian prince. And in this video, we are going to be talking about a lot of things. I'm so happy to have every one of you here. Let me see the chat. No chat. What's up, guys? Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. What's going on? So I asked before the live stream, before we went live, there's a poll, and in the poll I said, what did you guys think about the new age teaching of manifestation, particularly about manifestation? Because I think that's one of the problems with the new age teaching that I don't agree with. There's so many of them that I think are just weird, but I asked you guys what you guys thought about it, and 9% said it makes sense. 23% said it's all nonsense, and 69% are like, what is the new age teaching? What are new age teachings, rather? So by the end of the live stream, I believe we'll be able to answer some of these questions, and we'll be able to, we are reacting to a video by James Janin, by the way. And before I continue rambling, I am with my wonderful guest, Yudee. My brother, actually. Yudee, what's up?
Yeah, man, I'm cool. It's good to be here again on the live chats section, and I'll be expecting a lot of juicy stuff to actually, comment on and give my own opinion on what I think about some of the issues that will be talked about in this live section.
All
today.
right, that's great. And please, guys, keep the super chat coming. Support the channel, and one way you can support the channel, of course, is to hit the like button. Hit the like button again and again, so that the algorithm, the gods of the algorithm, will push this live stream and let people make people aware of it. This is Kate. I don't know how to pronounce her name. He said, "Remember me? I don't know if I do. I don't know if I can." But yeah. But before we go to the video, a lot of things have been happening, and it's hard to not talk about it, especially when you go live like this and you have the opportunity. It's hard to not talk about it. And of course, we are talking about the news that has that everybody is talking about, which is the Russell Brand situation, the controversy around him, and everything that has been reported. Everybody has, as in, I've never, this anyway, not like I've never seen, but this is one of those things that happen, and everybody has a hot take. Everybody has something to say, especially, and my, it's fine, it's okay. The only thing I have issues with when people are having their hot takes are people who are like, yeah, I believe Russell Brand is guilty. He actually did it. Or those who are like, yeah, I believe Russell Brand is innocent. And I'm like, yo, you don't have access to all the information. You are not there. How can you be so sure? You don't even know the guy. So for me, I feel any hot take that has to do with whether he's innocent or whether he's guilty is is unnecessary for me. I feel it's unnecessary. I've seen people who vehemently believe that Russell Brand is guilty. Like, he did it. He definitely did it. He has this kind of horrible past. Everybody knows that, but it doesn't prove anything. All right. Also, it doesn't also mean that he did not do it. There's more to come out of this. Hopefully, we'll get more information. That is, if we even care. And I don't even know why people care so much. Well, we should care if something egregious like this is going on. Well, it is important for us to know and give expose things like this, and not cover it up or anything like that, or let people get away with doing something so terrible. However, I think we can make hot takes about certain issues, societal issues that this reflect. Okay, I think we can talk about certain societal issues that this reflect. One is, if this becomes a criminal case, I don't know how possible it is for those women to, if they are, that is, if indeed it actually happened, I don't see the possibility of those women getting justice, so to speak. If it happened, now I don't know if he did or if he did not. I can't speak to that. But if he did, I don't see the likelihood of those women getting justice. I don't see the likelihood of a conviction, because this is 15 years ago we are talking about. You know, it's even hard to prove in court that this thing actually happened, because that's how the court system works. Unlike the court of public opinion, where Russell Brand has to prove his innocence, in the court of law, those women have to prove his guilt. So that is one. And it's also a difficult situation for Russell Brand, because now he has to prove his innocence, and it's kind of crazy. Anyways, I'm talking plenty. The point I want to make is, one, if you really want to get justice for things like this, as somebody who, let's say you find yourself in the position of those women, like if for real they are actually victims, as they are now alleged victims, right? If you find yourself in that situation, it is important for you to talk about these things on time. Now, I know that it is difficult. As a victim, it is as of sexual, assault, or, the big arrow word that if I say on YouTube now, they'll give my channel the orange dollar sign. But the point is, if that is what you've suffered, it is important for you to speak up on time. It is really important. One is, if you speak up on time, it will prevent the person who is doing this from doing this to other people. That's, I believe, is at least the record to be out there, to be on record. Everybody will be aware, right? That is one thing I think that would do, even if it doesn't bring the person to justice, but at least he puts it out there that, hey, this person has this stain on their reputation, and it's not like you waited 50 years or 15 years or 10 years or 20 years in some cases. You say it immediately. You save other people. You raise the red flag so that people will not fall victim to this. That's one. Second is, another reason why you should speak up on time is, if you speak up later and people don't believe you, you cannot blame them. Like, any response, like when it comes to this issue, any person who don't believe the victims, I don't have any issue with them. It's not their fault. You didn't help your situation. You waited so long. So when we start asking why now, that is a fair question. I mean, at the height of the Me Too movement, when everybody was as in women have it out for every prominent figure in Hollywood, you guys didn't come out. Now you are coming out. It's somehow, so people who have this kind of hesitation in believing these women and have this as their reservation, is fair. Okay, that's one.
I wanted to say something. For me, I really do not know why stuff like this, when it's happened and someone is, by the way, before I continue, shout out to Kat. She said, I don't know if it's a she or he, I'm actually so happy I've never gotten a shout at before. I guess that's what you're trying to say. So Kat, hi, big shout out here. So actually, I think one of the thing is, Frank, if you're looking for that should be around 11:08 p.m. One of the thing I have to say about this whole stuff is, I really don't know why, when someone is allegedly, that is emphasis on the word, someone comes out, speak up and say, this guy harassed me. People do not actually get to wait for any judgment for the person, to prove his own part, and the next thing is being cancelled everywhere. I really don't know why the system works that way. And we've seen a situation where, at the end of the day, these people were, accused. Turns out that they actually are not guilty of what they were accused of. And at the end of the day, Yudee has a Nigerian asset. Whatever you call it.
He hides it. He has it. He hides it. Just know that the way you are hearing him talk, is not how he talks to me in the background. I just know this.
No. If I am speaking, what do they call it? Broken pidgin language. That's where you see the whole Nigerian asset thing coming up. But when I'm relating in English, the proper English I will know about, it's usually this way. So, as I was saying, we've seen cases where people are accused falsely or wrongly, and they come out clean, and they were able to prove that they were not, they didn't do what they were accused of. And you see, it becomes very difficult for the system to make up for all of the stuff they've lost. And it's not like crowd will
True.
come up and say, oh, yeah, we are sorry. In fact, no crowd even would apologize. They will be like, yeah, let's just, move on just like that, and I really don't know
Yeah.
why the system works that way. And to be honest, it's really not fair. I think um, people should actually be patient with stories like this, and take whatever decision they want to take with whoever they want to take it with, only when it has been proven beyond every doubt that this person actually did what he was accused of.
Yeah, I don't know how people don't understand that the accusation of rape is a big one, and they really need to be patient before coming to conclusion. But that's how we find it. It's how it is, I guess. And one of the reasons why I was like, people need to come up early and talk about this thing early. The person you like, in the case of Russell Brand, the person you are who did whatever he did to you back 15 years ago is not the person now. Like, anybody who has followed Russell Brand's career can see the big reformation that has happened to him over the years. And then people are coming up, bringing all these things up. It's like, if indeed he did it, for me, I'm like, I don't know how much of this should be factored in, but that is not the person that did it to you. Like, the person who did those things is a changed man now. He doesn't exist anymore. And I believe that strongly, And for me, I feel, as a guy who is looking at this should be a cautionary tale. Okay, for the guys out there, this should be a cautionary tale. Be careful. There is promiscuity. Living a promiscuous life comes at a very big cost, and some of it will haunt you years after, 15, 20 years after. It will
Especially,
really be.
especially some of you that like blaming your actions on alcohol.
Yes. Oh, it's just the alcohol, Yeah, I didn't know what I did. Then before you know, you're accused of, raping someone, and you're like, it was the alcohol. I don't know if that would be a strong defense in court, where you'll be like, I can't remember exactly what happened that night. It will not stand. It's just, sex is not something to play. Like, I know people in America, they call it casual sex. There is no such thing as, it's not casual. It's not really that casual, because look at what is happening now. If people do it, it has been done, it has been encouraged before. It's just in recent years, it's no longer encouraged. Right now, it is seen as a bad thing for you to be celibate, for you to not engage in sexual activities until you are married or you are in a committed relationship. Right now, it's seen as a bad thing. People are encouraged as early as 16, 17, 18 to go out there and just sleep with the whole time. And I'm like, you are putting yourself. There are 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds whose life have been ruined by false accusations like this, with people who they had consensual, sexual relationship with, and those people later, when they felt dissatisfied about the whole thing, they come back later and they're like, he assaulted me. It was not consensual, and they get the reputation of essentially a terrible person. They are unable to get jobs. They are unable to function properly in society. Their whole life is like essentially over. Some of them even start contemplating, taking their own life, and some of them even go ahead to do it. I'm like, you see, just one innocent casual sex has resulted in this. So there's no such thing as that. It will, and I know, yes, there's some people who have lived the life of, the modest life, and yet they still find themselves in this kind of nonsense allegation and stuff. Yes, there are people who have suffered that regardless, but we cannot deny that you reduce your probability of facing this kind of useless allegations, especially when they are not true, if you just respect yourself and abstain. Abstinence is still a good thing. It is still a virtue. If you just abstain, I know it may, when everybody is doing it, it's like, why don't I just do it? But believe me, it will be, you are saving yourself a lot. If there are many other reasons why you should abstain, there are a lot of reasons why abstinence is a good thing as a young person who is not married or who is not in a committed relationship. There are plenty of reasons, but if none of them are appealing to you, this should be one that should, get you thinking about the whole thing. Do I want to end up like this? Do I want to end up like
Well,
this
for
celebrity
me, I
that kind of
for
situation?
me, yeah, abstinence can be a good thing, but I think if a lady mean you a great deal and the lady actually want to bring you down, I mean, any person can do anything. There are, these crazy toys out there they play with these days, and you can use it roughly on yourself and rush off to a medical doctor, to an hospital, and tell them something has happened to you, and they check you and they be like, yeah,
But
something
they will do
happened or
no.
whatever.
If they're doing a forensic analysis, they will check for DNA. They will do a DNA test to see if your DNA. Because if it is actually the big arrow word, there will be your DNA sample will be found there. So
Yeah, there are usually two types of this thing. We have the so-called foreplay where a whole lot go down there without the main thing happening. I mean, your DNA can still be found there because it's kind of complicated here. And I mean, if somebody actually have a big plan against you, it's just may or may not have, they may have their way or they may not have their way. So it's
But
all
at the
boils
very,
down to you just
I
being
get what you're
careful
saying. I get what
regardless.
you're saying. I get what you're saying. But at the very least, at least to a good extent, you've guarded yourself against it. I don't know how much of it will help you, but I believe a great deal it will. Because most of the allegations that have been brought forth have been by people who actually had sexual relationship with those women, but is that it wasn't non-consensual. So that is that. All right, let's move to new age. Yudee, what do you think about new age movement, the law of attraction? Manifest. If you believe it, you can achieve it. Aspire to perspire to conspire to retire. What do you think about the whole movement?
Yeah, it's cool actually when it comes to those words motivating you. When you believe it, you can achieve it and all of that stuff. Like I've been believing that I'll actually be richer than Elon Musk, and we've been is it aspire, right? So we've been aspiring so that we could
Aspire
perspire
to
or whatever you call it. And
perspire.
yeah, it's a very good one, especially it motivates you to want to push and all
Yeah,
of that stuff.
I remember when I
And
was in
while it's go on.
continue. Okay, I remember when I was in
So
school, man, there was these guys that, just drank the whole Kool-Aid of the whole positive thinking stuff. Oh my God, they were just high on that thing. You could get them you'll stand before, like when I was in secondary school, not the university, secondary school, people will stand in the assembly. In Nigerian school, we have what we call the assembly. And then they stand in front, like prefect or what have you, and they give you these 15 minutes of high motivation filled with quotes, your mindset is your limitation.
someone's asking you
So,
what is the new age teaching? Is it BRICS?
no, it's not. BRICS is a financial system. This has nothing to do with. This has nothing to do with. BRICS has nothing to do with the new age movement. So, without further ado, let's go to the video by James Jani. Please, guys, if you find this very interesting and you love, in fact, I encourage everyone who has seen this to go and follow the guy. I follow his channel. His videos are interesting, educative, informative. These are things these are the kind of channels you should be following on YouTube. By the way, I've been binge watching Coffeezilla. Many of you know who Coffeezilla is on YouTube. His content is like hilarious, insightful, and amazing. And I've been binge watching the whole thing. All right, so without saying too much, let's go into the video.
It's important that I emphasize a few disclaimers. By no means am I calling the individuals mentioned in this video scammers. Consider what you are about to see a criticism of their business practices and promoted ideologies, not an incitement of harassment or hate. I have no way of knowing their true intentions. It is entirely possible that those mentioned have created their teachings with good intent, no matter how misguided those teachings have become. And whilst I will be including sources to back up every claim that I make, treat this video as my own opinion and conclusions surrounding the subject of New Age spirituality and New Thought related ideas. Now, To those who think I am criticizing anyone who is trying to make money, you have misunderstood my position. One look at my channel will show you I have no problem with somebody making money. However, I do take issue with the context surrounding how they make their money.
A lot of people actually were in my group were attending the events, the courses.
Obviously, this is the guy. This is CoffeeZilla, but he has beards now. This was like way back then. You can see that this is Eric, HO student loss. This YouTube CoffeeZilla. Guy lost $26,000 and regrets everything, stuff like that. So yeah.
Hope to make money so that they could feed their family, but unfortunately they've lost it. So
New Age spirituality has seen incredible growth in the mainstream, having a huge influence on the self-help industry thanks to figures like Napoleon Hill, Rhonda Byrne, and others who I will be discussing further. But what seemingly goes unnoticed is the booming business behind it that I think does more harm than good.
When you recognize your vibrational frequency, you're drawing into yourself all the time, literally, the vibration that is most like what you're putting out.
right, there was
And this is the mumbo jumbo, the mumbo jumbo of the New Age movement. Like, what that thing you just had now, what does it mean?
It's just physics.
So the vibration you are giving us is the vibration that is coming to you.
It's theoretical physics that you can never see. Abstract. It's bullshit.
And these days there's no New Age scam New Age scammer that has not had an interview with Oprah Winfrey or has never been on the Oprah Winfrey show. That lady just promotes a whole lot of nonsense. But that's by the way. I highlighted this because I knew they were about to show Oprah Winfrey. I've seen the video, so I highlighted this tweet. So yeah, this message rather. So yeah, so something happened. Was there a glitch?
No? You can hear me?
Come on. Was there a minor glitch, Yudee? There was a minor glitch, Abby. Let me keep going.
The woman had kids who refused medical treatment because she believed in the secret.
In this video, we'll take a look at some of its most influential figures, its roots, and how it is fundamentally built from a flawed and dangerous disregard for reality. Now, it would be impossible for me to cover the entirety of the New Thought movement in just one video. So bear in mind that there will be influential figures in this industry that I fail to mention or decide to cut. However, I want you to take notice of the patterns. From multi-level marketing to scammers, to self-help, to pseudoscience, to subtle deception. I'll aim to demonstrate why I think New Age spirituality has inherently allowed itself to become the perfect grift.
I love the way this guy paces his videos. Are you enjoying the pacing? I really like the way he paces his videos.
Hey, how's everybody doing today? Me too. All right, here's what I want to talk about today. Working in an office.
This class exclusive all-wheel drive, a premium navigation.
This low everyday price is here to stay.
We'll get you approved in 30 minutes or less. I guarantee it.
Did I know at the time, out of my greatest despair was to come the greatest gift. I couldn't believe all the people who knew this. They were the greatest people in history. I began searching for people alive today who know the secret.
You know, this secret gives you everything you want.
In 2006, Rhonda Byrne released her film, The Secret. a film that promised to change your life, featuring various gurus who promoted an idea that could bring you health, wealth, and happiness. That idea was the law of attraction.
Everything that's coming into your life, you are attracting into your life.
Is it true?
Oh.
Is it true? Guys, people in the chat, is it true that everything that is coming to your life, you are attracting it? Is it true? Yudee, what do you think?
Well, you attract what you are anyway, because it depends. I'm just going to look at it with an open mind.
The question is not, wait, sorry, I'm interrupting, but the question is not, are there things that happen to you that you attract? Of course there are, but is it everything?
Not. It can't be everything.
Exactly.
Because if you're in a bad society, things will just happen to you, whether you're attracting it or not.
If you live in Nigeria, there are things that will just happen to you. It's not your fault. It's just where you find yourself. So it's not.
The funny thing with the whole law of attraction thing is, it's more like, so I'm just being sarcastic here. You get to blame the universe, because if things doesn't go your way, it's clearly the universe's fault. It must have misunderstood your vibe, or misinterpret your vision board. So it's more or less like it's time for you to write a strongly worded letter to the cosmos, because if the cosmos doesn't get you, then something is wrong. The universe could be crazy for it.
Yeah, and this is the funny thing. I even wish that was how people react to this whole thing, because some people, when they try to apply this sick law of attraction and try to push out positive thoughts and try to manifest positive outcomes in their life, and then it does not happen, they will not blame the universe, they blame themselves.
Because you can't have 24/7 positivity. So the law of attraction requires 24/7 positivity, even in the face of insurmountable evidence to the contrary. So it becomes crazy, because you can't entertain negative thoughts. You can't have doubts. You can't do all of those things, because you want to attract something good, isn't it? So you just have to be good all the time. There's usually up and downs in the life of people. There are things that will make you think. There are things that will make you ponder. There are things that are going to make you shed some tears. But the law of attraction is demanding 24/7 positivity. So if you go wrong by 1 hour, you've attracted that thing. Even if it took 3 months for it to happen, it's your fault. And if it's not your fault, turn to the universe. The universe is responsible.
So like something that you can, it's just and it's just, anyway, let's keep watching. It's just crazy, the whole thing they teach. That my own is not my major issue with the whole talk is they take something that is true in some aspect and then make it look like it's true in all aspects.
There's actually no scientific backing to this thing. Who actually needs personal responsibility when you can just outsource your life decision to the universe? You can just leave it up to the cosmos to figure out your career, your relationship, your retirement plan. The cosmos has got your back on it, right? So it's crazy.
Yeah, you don't even need to work, or if you work, the work is the last thing you should focus on. The main thing is up here. Okay, it's up here, guys. If you can think it, you can become it. Which is just crazy. Well, there's this joke that Dave Chappelle cracked about the book, the movie, See the Secret. It was like the book was saying, if you think something, you can manifest it, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, go to the hungry children in Africa and tell them that the reason why they are hungry is because they have not manifested food.
It's more or less like telling someone, if your desired outcome does not materialize, just conveniently forget about them. Think positively. Forget everything. Because the law of attraction only works if you can selectively remember your successes while ignoring your failure.
Yeah, like a positive thought is going to fix everything, guys. If you think positive thoughts, It's going to fix everything. Positive thought is going to fix the government. Positive thought is going to fix the economy. Positive thought is going to just fix all of your life problems. Who needs action when you can think positively?
And it's attracted to you by virtue of the images you're holding in your mind.
A film that suggested being overweight came from thinking fat thoughts.
Did you hear what he said? Or should I take it back?
Take it back, please.
Okay.
Into your life. And it's attracted to you by virtue of the images you're holding in your mind.
A film that suggested being overweight came from thinking fat thoughts.
Yes, sir. That's right.
So if you actually want to be slim, you
Just
have
think
to
thought.
you have to have a slim thought. So
Yes,
I think this
yes.
is just crazy.
Exactly.
Makes
Do
no
you
sense.
understand? No, I agree with this book 100%. What are you saying? All you have to do is, guys, think thin thoughts. Okay, if you are fat, who goes to the gym? Go to the gym is for losers. Okay, so people who have not been able to unlock the potential that lies in the mind. Okay, what you need is not physical gymnastics. What you need is mental gymnastics. Okay, that can fix everything. Fix all your problems, guys. Okay, so. Yeah.
Or that the only reason a person does not have enough money is because they are blocking money from coming to them with their own thoughts.
Yeah, let me take it back.
From thinking fat thoughts. Or that the only reason a person does not have enough money.
The only reason a person does not have enough money is because they are blocking money from coming to them with their thoughts. Okay.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's it.
Money is because they are blocking money from coming to them with their own thoughts.
The secret is the law of attraction.
It was a feel-good message. The film exceeded $65 million in sales and became something of a cultural phenomenon.
Have you heard about it? This is The Secret. Talk about this DVD has been spreading around the world.
People need to see. People on YouTube need to do a video and just highlight all the fraud, lies, and just outright scam that Oprah Winfrey has platformed in her 20 years media career, because it's a lot. It's a lot. Remember the famous Harry and Meghan interview. You know, she was the one who platformed that. Platformed so many crazy things.
I had friends that were telling me that The Secret is real.
A girl I knew sent me a book called The Secret. She was like, listen, Dave, if this is going to help you.
But what you are also witnessing here is the success of another kind. A success at rebranding an idea that had been cultivated for many years before Burns' film. Fast forward to present day, and you'll find no shortage of gurus promoting these same rehashed ideas.
The moment you start feeling abundant and worthy, you are generating wealth.
3 law of attraction truths that I wish I knew earlier.
Whatever you can see in your mind, you can hold in your hand. Whether you want to be a millionaire, whether you
7 steps to speed up the...
Are you here, guys? I'm giving you insight on how to make it. This is what I decided.
Well, I never thought for once that this is like a very big industry where they churn out money. I mean, so if I want to practice the law of attraction, like if I understood correctly, you sit around just thinking about a Ferrari, and any day now the universe will mistakenly drop one in your driveway, right?
Not mistakenly. You are getting it all wrong. It's not mistakenly. It's actually. It's not a mistake.
So the universe is actually going to drop it your way. And I mean, you don't actually need a driver's license because you have to attract it. So just drive that car and end up in prison. Simple.
Yeah. What? Prison? You are going to think your way out of it. All right. Don't think negative thoughts. Just think positive thoughts, and you're going to everything you are thinking. Like I call it the manifestation industry. It's the industry of manifestation. Just with your mind, you can manifest it. You need to understand that there's huge power in your mind, guys. So, yeah.
Law of attraction using your spiritual powers. Here we establish the first pattern of this industry, targeting a vulnerable audience. Those who are struggling financially, having relationship problems, or suffering from a disease are particularly favorable. Or perhaps you're just searching for answers. This idea, this law of attraction, seems to serve up answers in such a simple yet idealistic way.
And the truth is, you can actually get whatever you want in life. Whatever you can see in your mind, you can hold in your hand. Whether you want to be a millionaire, whether you want to keep some.
It's true that whatever you see in your mind, you can, meaning there is a possibility for you to have that thing. But is there a certainty that you will have it? That's the one that is not there. You can does not mean you will. Okay? So yeah, you can, but you won't. You probably won't. You know,
no, it's actually good. It's actually good to have a positive mindset. It's good. But I mean, positive mindset, it's more or less like having hope in situations that you might be going through or something you intend to achieve. That is just being positive about it. But saying being positive equates attracting what you have in your mind about how a situation would go. It's totally wrong. So who do you actually get to blame? The universe or you actually? Who takes the blame if it doesn't work out? And then people come in and tell you there are certain practices you can do to attract those things. There are some vibrations you need to feel. Some you have to practice, maybe yoga. I think some of those kind of stuff they tell you
meditation
to do.
Meditation and stuff.
Meditation for 10 minutes.
Crystal,
allow clear your mind, allow the breeze or allow whatever to come into your mind, and you just sit down for 10 minutes and probably you doze off in the process and you keep on going over and over and over again, all in the bid to attract what you're thinking about. I mean, it doesn't make any sense here.
Yeah, and here's the thing. There is like I was saying earlier, the thing about the whole law of attraction movement, the positivity movement, is that they take something that is true in a particular aspect and then make it look like it applies in all aspects, and it guarantees whatever it is they claim that it guarantees. It doesn't guarantee. There's no guarantees in life. They're just probabilities. Like I always say, there's no certainty. They're just endless probabilities or endless possibilities, right? So yes, there's being optimistic, right? Being hopeful, being joyous, even in a cloudy situation, having a positive attitude towards life is good. Everybody wants everybody likes to hang around the person who, has a positive attitude, and positivity is a good thing. Nobody is going to deny that. There's somebody who has what we call a positive vibe. Is somebody who, will most likely attract a lot of good things in their life. Not necessarily, positive, always positive things, right? But being optimistic, being a jolly good fellow, come on, is an endearing characteristic. It makes people open up to you. It makes you get friends easily, right? So that there's no the advantage of being positive, being optimistic, being happy. It's like even in your body, being happy has something it does for you, has how it boosts your mood and boosts the aura around you and everything. There's so many things that can be said about that. It does not mean being happy is going to guarantee you millions. It does not mean being happy is going to give you a Ferrari. It does not mean being optimistic is going to mean that everything is going to go well. And there are many attributes to it. Like there are many attributes, positive, not attributes rather, but advantages to it, right? So many that has nothing to do with getting well from an illness or getting whatever you particularly that you desire, so.
I mean, with the law of attraction, who actually need effort and strategy when you can just daydream your way to success? That is all the law of attraction.
Yeah, that is exactly what it is about. You're right. It's just daydream your way to success.
3 ways to manifest money within 24 hours. Would you like to get your ex back?
You just know this is rubbish. 3 ways to.
You can hold in your hand, whether you want to be a millionaire, whether you want to
gives you 3 ways to manifest money within 24 hours. Now,
3 ways to manifest money within 24 hours. I will tell you the 3 ways, guys. Are you ready? Number 1, rob a bank. Number 2, rob a bank. Number 3, rob a bank. I don't think.
And it's not still a guarantee.
No. And it's not still guaranteed. You may get caught, but dude, I don't know how else you can manifest right now. In fact, even robbing a bank is not that easy. You can't do it in 24 hours. You have to plan. You have to.
Yeah, Bonnie Wolf, can you pin Bonnie Wolf's comment? As Nigerians, you should understand that people can go to their witch doctor or juju man for short-term gains for a cause. Isn't New Age similar concept? No. Funny thing about this whole thing about going to witch doctor. First off, the so-called witch doctor is even poor, doesn't have money, and the children are poor as well. And all they tell you is at least you would have business you're already doing, and then either they tell you bring some sort of sacrifice because it's going to cost you seriously. It's going to cost you seriously, like your loved ones, whatever bargain you want to have with the devil in exchange for wealth, right? So it depends on what takes you there. If it's wealth, if it is power, if it is to kill your neighbor's goats, and all of those kind of crazy stuff that you go to the witch doctor for. And then it gives you condition what you should do. At least there is a price you get to pay. So in law of attraction, you don't even need a witch doctor. All you need is if you can dream.
Exactly.
If you know how to dream,
you need to put effort.
There was a trend on TikTok. They call it Fifi imagination. You just imagine things. You see some funny people just come in and they'll be like, "Oh yes, I just came into my house right now and my husband just made me dinner. My husband just bought me a nice car." And the next thing, they want to show you the car and they show you an empty space and they start singing that imagination song. So you must be someone who can imagine things a lot. So you don't need a witch doctor. Unlike the witch doctor, when you have a very big price to pay, at least you have something you're doing. Either they tell you to go kill, to go bring sacrifice. If you've been watching the whole kind of your trend, yeah, you have to do something.
You have to do crazy
down. This one, all you need to do is just think, I can be rich. I need money. And so the universe would work for your good and then will help you go and steal the money somewhere and then bring the money to you. That is what this is all about.
Exactly. Even to go through the witchcraft route is really, in fact, you need to. In fact, most of the people cannot even do it. Let's not even.
I'd like to get your ex back. The law of attraction.
How will you use the law of attraction to get your ex back? Like, really?
Maybe
What is this something?
Except you are a thief and a manipulator. In fact, if you can use the law of attraction to get anybody back, you're supposed to be jailed. If it is real, they're supposed to jail you because I don't have my own mind. Then you're thinking of having me back, and then it's just what
your boyfriend is trying to manifest another girlfriend. Why you want to manifest him? That's what we call the conflict of manifestations. You understand?
Power.
Like there's this one I always ask myself. Let's say I want to manifest a rainy day. Today I want to manifest a rainy day in Enugu where I'm living. And someone else in the same place where I'm living wants to manifest a sunny day. How is that going to happen, ladies and gentlemen?
No, I think the law of attraction should start looking for those who have been imagining all the tornadoes that have been happening out there in the West and all of those crazy natural disasters taking place, such as the volcano and the rest, so that we could just jail them, so that this nonsense can stop. Because everything in the universe,
negative thoughts, they are responsible for all the natural disasters and they need to be arrested. It is.
Because I mean, it's killing people. Because
Exactly.
with the law of attraction, we cannot just believe that things just happen and someone is not somewhere imagining them. So we need scanner to start scanning people to know what is in their mind, so that we can know what to do with them.
That's very important suggestion. Very important.
Yudee. When you're vulnerable or desperate, critical thinking is dulled, and feeling and emotion cloud your decision-making abilities. So when you're presented this secret, a secret that promises to change your life with so little effort, who could possibly fault you for wanting to believe? The bait has been set, but you have to understand, the law of attraction is only one branch of a bigger belief system. To understand the problems with the ideas Rhonda presented, you have to examine the roots of where it all began. From here, you can trace the same patterns and the influence it's having over the gurus we see today. The New Thought movement was centered around a few key ideas. That we and everything in existence are essentially God, or at least we all have some level of divinity within us. Positive thinking has the power to carry forth manifestations into the material world. New Thought's supposed origins travel back to a man named Phineas Parkhurst Quimby, an American clockmaker born in 1802. Quimby became interested in the idea of using the mind as a way of curing people from illness and disease, after he himself had supposedly recovered from tuberculosis through his own healing methods. His philosophy became the basis for New Thought. Quimby's teachings inspired many other authors and so-called philosophers to continue spreading and expanding on his message and the overall New Thought movement. In those years, New Thought focused on our mind's ability to heal us from illness and disease. It emphasized intuition, feeling, and anecdotal evidence rather than empirical science-based evidence. It wasn't, however, until the 20th century where the New Thought movement extrapolated this into wealth creation. The ideology is perfect. If our thoughts had the power to quite literally change the material world, surely they could manifest wealth too. Then, a man named Napoleon Hill came right out of the blue with his first book, The Law of Success, and a decade later, his best-selling book, Think and Grow Rich. Up to this point,
Remember.
Napoleon Hill came right out of the blue with his first book, The Law of Success, and a decade later, his best-selling book, Think and Grow Rich.
We all read this book. We all see.
In fact, the Think and Grow Rich is the template for multi-level marketing.
Exactly.
When they want to deceive you.
Exactly. There is no multi-level marketer who has not read this book. If you've ever engaged in MLM, pyramid schemes, Ponzi, maybe not all of them, but most of them, and most of the people who push it have read Think and Grow Rich. And it is the playbook for them whenever they are giving you this motivational speech to help you get like 300 post downliners. You have to continue. Just continue.
I mean, it's the template because I see where their greed is coming from. Because I mean, they make you think wrongly and then make you go into this so-called scheme. And the funny thing is that you go so far that the only way out of the scheme is to deceive another person so that you make the money you've put into the scheme and run away. And the other person too go through that same cycle and it spreads out. And I mean, it's now clear that this whole thing is kind of like it's a big scam.
It is. It is a very big scam. Has always been a very huge fraud. Not just MLM. It's just people need to understand that it's possible to take a true statement, an innocent true statement, and use that true statement to say something false. I don't know if you understand. Like, think about the temptation of Jesus, for example. Everything Jesus was tempted of was things that we are the word of God, essentially. He will give his angels charge over you. If you are the Son of Man, turn this stone into bread. He of course, Jesus, if you are the Son of Man, what is difficult about turning stone to bread? If you are the Son of Man, what is difficult about jumping? The scripture actually said he will give his angels charge over you. They will bear you on their wings, lest you dash your foot against a stone. It's written in the scripture. So, of course, why not just jump? But you have to understand that is somebody distorting the truth. That is what these people do. These people don't go contrary to the truth. They just take it and distort it.
If you have a doctor or whoever that person is that use that to heal tuberculosis, I mean, if it is real, and we have a lot of these whole philosophers and the rest of them coming up after him, which I believe we still have so many of them right now all over the world. They were all there, and this whole COVID-19 thing blew up, and they could not just think about this whole thing and use that thought, clear off, the COVID crisis. But all they could do was write books, release it out there, everybody gets to read them, and practice a whole bunch of nonsense. I mean, it's they need to arrest them. That's not really arrest them per se. I'm just being crazy about this whole thing.
Yeah, I even agree with you. It should be a crime. It should be a crime. Like to lie like this. It's just, and somebody is going to be like, but there's some truth in what they're saying. Of course. The most brilliant liars, will not tell you outright lies. If I come to you and I tell you an outright lie, it would be easy to disregard me and just, oh, come on, he's lying.
The easiest way,
one or two true statements inside.
The easiest way to say lie is by giving you truths as introduction, and then you start nodding your head. And before you know what is happening, you can't know when I'm telling you lie. It's just
you will not be able to tell when the truth has ended. That's what exactly these guys do. You don't know when the truth has ended or where the lie has begun.
Because the whole thing is built on, this thing is working and you are having the trust. And then you've given trust. And I mean, when you give trust, the next thing is you could give it blindly. Because, I mean, the first 2-3 speech or sentences they've given to you is something that you actually buy. And then they sell something else alongside with what they've given you. And then you don't even know when you start taking poison from them. And that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Rich. Up to this point, it's nigh impossible to tell what the intentions of most New Thought authors were. The ideas they presented in their works were logically flawed in many areas, some of which I've already discussed in the first installment of this series, others of which we will get into soon. But it's when we get to figures like Napoleon Hill that the lines between good intentions and con artistry are blurred. Because Hill had an immense influence over many of the New Thought law of attraction gurus that have come since, having had his works promoted and circulated in countless business and self-help circles. I promise you, if you yourself haven't heard of this book, you know someone who has. But my question to you now is, how much do you really know about Napoleon Hill? Because if we take a dive into Hill's past, we notice that the reputation he's acquired amongst the New Thought movement is not at all what it seems. On the contrary, his true narrative is one of failed businesses, fraud, and grossly exaggerated achievements. Think and Grow Rich echoes much of the New Thought sentiment, especially when it comes to the pursuit of riches, highlighting how our thoughts and our desires can be transmuted into their financial equivalent. Hill even goes as far as to use examples in which thoughts have been able to cure deafness, including his own sons. This is a book that Napoleon claims he was tasked with creating after meeting one of the richest men in the world at the time, Andrew Carnegie, whereby Carnegie tasked him to interview some of the most successful men in business and learn the secrets to their success. But go a little further down that rabbit hole and you'll realize Hill may not be the person he is so commonly portrayed as by his fans or his own works. In 1907, 30 years before the release of Think and Grow Rich, Hill co-founded the Acre Hill Lumber Company in Mobile, Alabama. Only a year later, the Pensacola Journal reported that the company was liable to bankruptcy proceedings and charges of mail fraud. It turns out that Hill had bought lumber from outside of Mobile on credit before selling the lumber at a much lower price in cash. Eventually, creditors and other businesses were catching wind of the fraud, and in September of 1908, Hill was on the run from authorities. It was around this time that Napoleon Hill claimed he spoke with Andrew Carnegie.
So essentially, the guy is a fraud.
I mean, it's a fraud. It's just like something I read one time. It says, I tried the think and grow rich method at the casino, but apparently the universe doesn't accept positive thinking as a form of currency. I mean, these guys are big time fraud. That's just what this is.
And we see this in Nigeria. You know, remember those Nigerian guys now? People who have not opened business before in their life. People who even the business they ran before becoming motivational speakers have been failed businesses. And then they get on stage and they're like, yeah,
it was the easiest.
Seminar.
Yeah, it was the easiest. It was the easiest market to sell. It's like
this guy then. There was this guy then in school. I cannot forget. It's in the university. I don't even want to say his name, but this guy had issues in school first year, had issues with school second year. The guy had like a laundry list of carryovers, right? And then in our fourth year, after the holiday, he came back, and all of a sudden, the guy is a eloquent speaker, right? I remember then in school, we had fellowships in school. It's like a Christian gathering. And then they would give him like 15 minutes to give a presentation. My God, this guy was captivating. Like he would bring this slide. He will have this slide, and then he would do like an expose on something and be like, you see, this is the secret of why something is happening to this guy. And then he just keep putting the slides, and then he's just giving you nuggets of wisdom, popular quotes, mixing it with this, and you're like, whoa, my God, this guy is freaking captivating. Who is this guy? The next thing we know, this guy was organizing seminars, organizing talks, charging fees.
You know, I have a
learn something. I'm like,
yeah,
this guy is
I have a YouTube channel that, you know, kind of like explore opportunities on how to make money. And somebody commented one time on my short and said, the best way to make money is to teach people how to make money. and it was very funny because, I mean, you know, most of this video says, I'm going to show you how to make $6,000 in 24 hours. Though I don't have such content on my YouTube channel, but then, I mean, if I can make $6,000 in 24 hours, I will not even have time to tell you anything about it.
If I can make that, if these people can make that money that they are claiming they can, there is nothing that will put them on social media or in front of you in whatever platform or medium telling you whatever it is that they're telling you.
Any method that can help you make such money is already a secret, and it immediately is out there in the public. I mean, if 2 million people have watched that video, what makes you think 2 million people are not implementing that? And it has become a competition for you already. So there is no way you're going to make even 6,000 out of it. Neither will you even make $2 out of it. So these are the craziness of this thing. You yourself, you're already bankrupt. You have issues, and then you're trying to tell us the best way we could handle our issues is to think and grow rich. I mean, if you've read the book, at least it was just me being crazy, is that you mentioned people who made their way to success, but I mean, you forget to tell us that they worked hard for it, so they just stayed and they think, and then, you know, success just came to them. It doesn't. This is just one of. Yeah, go on.
The funny thing, the biographer of Andrew Carnegie said Andrew Carnegie never met Napoleon Hill. and if you've read Andrew Carnegie's book, what he says in his book and the things Napoleon Hill says, Andrew Carnegie says, are not like, there's like a huge contrast. The guy, Andrew Carnegie, is a very practical person. If you read his book, the guy is very practical. He doesn't believe in positive. He has never used words like positive thinking and all the stuff that Napoleon Hill attributes as speeches and statements by Andrew. So it doesn't make sense. The guy is out. My best bet is that he never met Andrew Carnegie, and the things he said in his books are obviously false statement by Andrew Carnegie.
But according to Andrew Carnegie's biographer, there was, quote, no evidence of any sort that Carnegie and Hill ever met. In 1909, Hill initiated the Automobile College of Washington, a college that promised students to teach them how to build, chauffeur, and sell motor cars. Only it turns out this college was just a way of getting free labor for building cars and then selling them. The Motor World magazine in April 1912 called Hill's College a scam and a, quote, joke to anyone of average intelligence, listing the many insane claims that Hill's College had been making, along with its scheme of paying students $3 a head per any other student they had recruited into the college.
That's multi-level marketing. Back in the day.
Akin to a multi-level marketing scheme we might see today. The college eventually folded in 1912. But Hill wasn't finished trying to make a name for himself. And in 1915, he established a school called the George Washington Institute of Advertising, intending to teach the principles of success and self-confidence. Only 3 years later, 2 warrants had been issued for the arrest of Hill with charges of violating blue sky laws. You see, Hill established the college with a $100,000 capitalization and attempted to sell the shares to investors, primarily his own students, despite the school's assets being worth at best $1,200. The school ended not long afterwards. And
so he essentially overpriced the school and tried to sell it like this. My school is worth $100,000, so it was actually worth $1,200. That's 1,200. That's this guy is a fraud. This guy is a reputable.
Funny thing is that most pastors were inspired by this guy. Like,
even prosperity, like we were talking last week, prosperity preachers, they quote Napoleon Hill. Like that's why you see fraud. They move in groups. They drink from the same fountain. They are cut from the same cloth. All of them. Just cut from the same cloth. And the truth is, like this person said earlier, is many of them have trained themselves to really believe these things. Many of them really honestly be like many people who are like, I remember friends of mine who really quote Napoleon Hill books and they're like, yeah, these guys, they really believed it. They really bought into it, not knowing that, it's just nonsense.
Yeah, there's a part of that book, I guess, that talk about affirmation, because I mean, like, you repeating I'm a millionaire 1,000 times is basically the same as having a solid, financial plan. Like, I mean, and you see this affirmation be infused into the church. Say this, I am walking in pounds. I am doing this. I am
money.
Doing, like,
come to me. Now,
yeah, you keep repeating, I am bold, I am beautiful, I am bold, I am beautiful, and by saying that you attract. So this is where all of this whole stuff emanated from. Because
he's their grandfather.
This is
he's their grandfather. He's the founder of this school of thought.
This only scratches.
He popularized it, right? He popularized it.
Is the surface of the other swindles Hill had been involved in. Of course, I understand what the common rebuke here would be. Napoleon Hill's book actually has value, and I myself have taken value from that book. Why should I care if the man himself had a fraudulent past? But that's the point, isn't it? If you were a grifter, then for the grift to work, you must be able to provide some crumb of truth. The strategy is simple yet so effective. Gain the trust of your victim by preaching some level of truth, then subtly attach more extreme ideas to that truth until the victim can no longer recognize the difference. New Thought does this constantly. Positive thinking is no longer just a tool solely for better day-to-day well-being. It becomes a powerful force that can literally manifest material results. Health and disease, according to New Thought, can be cured simply through the power of our minds. Consider this. How many people have read and engrossed themselves in the teachings of Napoleon Hill? Hundreds, if not millions of individuals? But how many of them truly managed to achieve the financial success that they initially visualized on being tasked to do so when reading the book? Most, I'd wager, have likely not. Why is that? Because financial success can't possibly be reduced down to your thinking or your ability to visualize wealth. Even taking action, which Hill admittedly does promote in his book, is no guarantee for financial success. Action increases probabilities, but for this to be a law, it must work every time. And yet, New Thought is fundamentally unfalsifiable.
And that's something everybody needs to understand. There is no sure way. There is no sure way. You know, like Nigerians will say, sure bet, sure banker. There's no sure way to success. There's no, if you do this, I guarantee you blow, you go hammer. There's no sure way. You know, there are things you do that increases your probability to succeed, right? If you go to school and you study medicine, for example, you are increasing your chances of, earning a good living. It does not guarantee that you will indeed, at the end of the day, earn a good living, but you are probably putting yourself on the right track, right?
Yeah. Go on.
So for something to be a law, right? For something to, like they call it the law of attraction, for something to be guaranteed, it needs to give you the same results all the time. All the time give you the same result. So, yeah.
I mean, especially, looking at the fascinating life of Napoleon Hill, it's truly remarkable how a man who actually claimed to have unlocked the secret to wealth and success struggles to maintain his own financial stability. I mean, clearly, he was just testing his theories on poverty for the benefit of his readers. That is just what was happening. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, look at it. He was merely conducting an extended case study in financial hardship just so he could eventually reveal his magical formula to the world. It's all about suspense and drama. It's crazy. You have your life not figured out and you create a law out of it from being a thief. And how he successfully did that to the point that I can think of so many people that I hold in high esteem or high figures that actually take words from this book and use it to support
what is written in that book as gospel. Like, essentially take what he said as many people that you respect. They take everything written in Napoleon Hill's and Think and Grow Rich as gospel. So then that's true. The guy is the truth. As far as they are concerned, Napoleon Hill, he's the truth. They've read not just Think and Grow Rich, they've read so much more from him, and it's for me, it's just sad and pathetic. And yeah, there are more crazy things we've not even scratched the surface of this mini documentary. It's crazy. You see how people have even taken it to further extent that even Napoleon himself did not imagine. So let's just keep.
We can't measure thoughts and feelings, nor the supposed vibrations thoughts and feelings have. And that's just the thing. See? The best grift is the one that leaves the grifter blameless. Anyone right now can write a book or sell a program on the law of attraction. They can run ads targeting vulnerable consumers, and best of all, if their teachings don't work, the blame never falls on them. It's always your fault. You didn't believe enough. You weren't thinking positive enough. You had resistance. You weren't patient enough. Now, the price of a book doesn't seem daunting. If you only spend a few dollars and glean some value from it, then it seems rather harmless and possibly worth the money. But how would you feel if the price of said book was a figure much higher than just a few dollars? How would you feel about someone promoting a secret or guarantee of success for much larger amounts of money?
There are people who have created like $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 courses to teach this nonsense.
Funny thing is, they just tell you, click the subscribe button here, and click the link below this ad, and I'm going to show you a clear path, a template I wish I knew when I was 5 years old, and I've been making 6 figures from it. It's something, it's not for everyone, and they play you. It's not for everyone, so you'll be like, yeah, fear of missing out. Let me click it.
This is how the ad go usually. It goes like this, like they'll be like, first of all, they will start by, I was just like you. I lost my house. I lost my girlfriend. I was in the lowest point of my life. I was even contemplating suicide. They can even put that there in case it's anything to move you, let you know that we are really as terrible as you were. And then suddenly they discover something and it turns their life around, and now they are better off as a result. And it's a secret, right? It's a secret. And you know, the powerful people in the world are hiding this from you. They don't want you to know this, because if you know this, then you're going to be just like them. They even sound like the devil, you know, when he told Eve that you know, God didn't want to tell you this, because if he tell you and you eat of the fruit, you are going to be just like God. The same thing they tell you. These rich people don't want to tell you this thing, because if they tell you this thing, you're going to be just like them. And the wealthy people in society are hiding this secret. But I believe it's important that we share this with the rest of the world. But now the problem is not all of you are ready for this. So many people doubt this. So many people are going to turn their nose at this. And if you are that person, this is not for you. This is for the selected few who will take the extra step, who are ready to change it. Oh my God. And then they just go in and go in and go in. And then they'll tell you a free course, a free three-hour course is my webinar, and I'm inviting you. A free course. It is absolutely free. Go on the link and, you know, join the edition. Blah, blah, blah. Then you go, you click a link, you watch a 3-hour seminar. You think they will tell you the secrets in that 3-hour seminar? No, webinar rather. No, what they will do is repeat everything they just said, but do it in a longer way. Tell you a lot of things about what they are going to teach you. Give you like an intro that is building your expectation. And then when you are getting towards the end, and you're like, okay, the secret. Sign up for my course. That is just how it happens, guys. That is exactly how it happens. Next thing you know, you are signing up for a course. And then there's another one they do when they are trying to sell you on this ludicrous course. They'll be like, this course is for a limited period. This is for a limited period. Right now, we don't want to take so many people. People are rushing this, and and when you go to the site where you have to sign up for the course, you see a clock, right? And you realize that you have like maybe 1 hour left. So you're like, if I don't sign up now, it's over. It's done. Turns out that if you don't sign up today, you go tomorrow on that website, the clock has started counting again. It's like a huge scam, a very huge fraud.
Napoleon Hill's book has been an inspiration to many as the New Thought movement continues to grow, inspiring much of the self-help industry we're consumed by today, two of which went by the names of Jerry and Esther Hicks.
We'd like to ask Abraham to come and speak to us.
Okay, it just takes a few seconds. I won't move much. It is nice to have an opportunity to visit.
Esther Hicks claims that she can channel an entity, or rather a group of entities known as Abraham Hicks, charging hundreds of dollars for their seminars and workshops.
Good morning.
Members of the audience are invited forward to pose a question to Esther, or more specifically, the Abraham entity she is supposedly channeling.
Hi, it's nice to see you again. Thank you again. And thank you to Esther.
Whilst Jerry sits at the side somewhere taking notes, perhaps for their next book.
We want to say that in this book that is coming, there are 33 examples of all kinds of things that might happen in someone's life. And each of these
both Esther and Jerry
have created the perfect grift, like the perfect. You are channeling a spiritual entity that goes by the name Abraham. No, come to Nigeria, you go move markets, my dear. You will sell.
I think I need to start writing books because
you will sell, my dear. Just come to Nigeria and be like, Nigeria like mystic, superstitious nonsense. Just
because with
Abraham is
GPT now.
Damn.
With ChatGPT now, they can write chunk of this whole stuff now. Like it's going to be in essence for those who want to consume the whole material then.
Yeah, as well. Let's keep going.
Authored countless books promoting the teachings of this Abraham entity, which are structured like a conversation between Jerry and Abraham, with the latter giving answers to life's most asked questions. Esther goes as far as claiming on her site that this is the original source material for the current law of attraction. In fact, Many in the law of attraction community suggest that Rhonda Byrne's film, The Secret, was just a watered-down version of Hicks's teachings. And it's precisely because of Esther's reputation as the most authentic one out of the two that I think it's worth discussing her. Because upon closer inspection, we see that much of Hicks's teachings are exactly what we've come to understand from New Thought. I don't actually have to know whether or not Esther really is channeling an entity for me to be extremely skeptical of her.
She's not channeling Bregege. She's not channeling nothing. She's not nothing.
Her work. The contradictions and problematic teachings speak far more to her legitimacy than any claims of channeling. In Esther's book, The Law of Attraction, one such problematic teaching centers around the idea that a victim of a robbery is a co-creator of the violence inflicted upon them. Jerry states, I can understand robbers being attracted to those they're robbing, but it's difficult to see innocent victims attracting the robbery, or the person being discriminated against attracting the prejudice. Hicks responds, they are just the same. The assaulted and the assaulter are co-creators of the event.
What? Like, what the hell? How will you say, like, guys, this is ridiculous. Like, how will you tell people that yeah, if you experience a robbery, is because you attracted the come on. I thought Americans are anti-victim blaming. That's the Nigerian thing, guys. Come on. Come on. All right, let me see some people in the listen. This is John. John, thank you for joining us. Don't worry, you've not missed much.
And besides, you can always get to watch it.
Yeah, you can always go back and watch it all over again, but you've not missed much. And yeah, we're just talking about the secret law of the law of attraction and the whole, manifestation. If you can think it, you can manifest it just through your thoughts and the whole thing. And here is somebody saying that people who are victims of assaults are the ones attracting it essentially. So yeah. Fascinating stuff, guys.
If you think Hicks's response here is a one-off, you'd be mistaken. She emphasizes this point numerous times. Take a moment to truly consider the level of victim blame.
There are no victims, they are only co-creators. You are all as magnet attracting onto you the subject of your what?
And lack of accountability that such a position would lead to. Or instead of a robbery, imagine a child born into poverty who starves to death before the age of 5. According to Hicks's teachings, these children were co-creators of their fate. And this isn't a belief shared.
Exactly. Children who were born into poverty, when they were in the womb, right? They were attracting. In fact, why they were even spermatozoas, they were attracting it. They were thinking. They had brain activity.
Just by Hicks alone. This is a fundamental premise in all of New Thought. By this logic, we can say that the perpetrators of countless crimes shouldn't be held accountable. After all, they are just the product of their victims' vibrational frequency. Any rational person can see the danger of this thinking. But as we've come to learn, for the preacher of such ideas, this logic is perfect. Because all who complain that they haven't been able to manifest health, wealth, abundance, or whatever dream we've sold them on, we can tell these people that it isn't the fault of our belief system that they didn't get what they wanted. It is in fact their fault. And as we peddle more of our workshops, write more of our books, we have an excuse each and every time someone attempts to challenge our ideas.
So what we notice as we look into the medical profession today, we see doctors and scientists literally scaring people to death with their pronouncements of diseases that are incurable, when we know that there is not any disease that is incurable. You can get to where you want to be from wherever you are if you will point in the direction that you want to go and continue to move in that direction.
Esther Hicks, as we've already discovered with others in the New Thought movement, makes the claim that our thoughts and feelings or our vibrational frequencies can cure us of any disease. It seems odd then, or rather hypocritical, that her husband Jerry himself passed away from cancer in 2011. But this hypocrisy is something we'll see.
Of course. What
Sorry, I'm not laughing at somebody dying here. It's
It's the irony that is fun. It's not the death. It's just the irony.
because because I mean, just like the emphasis I laid on the whole COVID-19 issue, like you really cannot think about this and make this stuff go away. Yeah, just write books, and get people to read, and then I mean, you want a doctor to lie? The doctor did research or did some tests being carried out in the lab and discover somebody is sick of a particular ailment, and then tells you what your problem is.
You are lying to them. There is no incurable disease. They can, if they just think about it and you point them to the right direction, they are going to think their way into a cure. Okay.
I think she's supposed to sue Wikipedia for actually saying her husband died of cancer, because I mean there is no cancer.
He talked himself into a natural death.
Exactly. Like if she actually wants people to take her serious, let her just sue Wikipedia and make a case of it and say, this is wrong. I do not accept it. There is no such thing as cancer, and then people will take her serious.
It's just ridiculous. Everything is it's just ridiculous.
See more of as we continue. Now, you might ask, why bother adding all the metaphysical and pseudoscientific ideas in the first place? If Esther and Jerry were truly trying to con people or just make a ton of money, wouldn't it have appealed to a bigger market?
No. When you add the metaphysical, when you add the mystical element to the whole thing, it's just the perfect. Oh, no. It's the perfect dressing. It's like the perfect icing on the cake. You want to be a grifter, if you look at it now, pastors, for example, one of the best in the world when it comes to grift, because they can add spirituality, they can add something supernatural to the whole thing, make it look like what they are telling you is something that is out of this world. It's something that cannot be touched by the average human being. You have to be a godlike figure or have access to a godlike figure for you to have access to this deep revelation. Just like Napoleon Hill said, he got access to his deep revelation by meeting the richest man in the world at that time, Andrew Carnegie. The same way, these people are like, the way I got this is I'm able to connect with a spiritual being named Abraham. And it's not just any name. You have to choose a name that, has a biblical connotation to the whole thing. You choose Abraham, the father of faith, right? Even though I'm very sure that's not the one they are referring to, but at least Abraham just makes the whole thing sound mystical, make the whole thing sound spiritual. And now you can package this thing well and sell it. If you want to be pseudo-scientific, you have to go all in. You just have to go all in. And that way you can, in fact, this is even the most beautiful part of everything that Esther Hicks and her husband, Jerry Hicks, we were able to do, right? If you hold them up and say, you said this, you said this, your book said this, and they're like, no, that is not what I said. That is what Abraham said. Perfect. This is the perfect. Oh no. He said they should divide it of the mystical. No, people will not take them serious.
If she simply passed herself off as a life coach, rather than turning potential customers off of her works by claiming that she could channel another entity. I, however, disagree. It's my opinion that the addition of spirituality and channeling is actually an incredibly clever marketing device, because now life advice turns into the teachings of Abraham. And if one wants to hear the teachings of Abraham, they must go to the source. They must go to the person who is claiming to channel this divine entity. This creates scarcity around Hicks's business of answering humanity's burning questions. And the scarcer the product, the more valuable it becomes. So when you're given an eye-watering price tag, no one bats an eyelid. It is my opinion that New Thought's use of spirituality and pseudoscience serves this exact purpose, allowing your teachings to seem more valuable in the marketplace. It is my opinion that the use of an Abraham entity is more of a marketing device than anything else, conceived from the foundation of Jerry Hicks's past career as a high-level distributor for the multi-level marketing company Amway. A company that preached ideas like the law of attraction and books like Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich because they recognized that in order to keep members inside the MLM scheme, they had to blame themselves if they didn't achieve the goals the MLM promised. Either way, none of this stopped Oprah from inviting Esther for an interview years later, just as she had done with Rhonda Byrne.
And that for over 20 years, Esther Hicks and her husband Jerry have been spreading the word of that so-called secret.
It didn't stop the Abraham Hicks money-making machine from running as usual. The Secret, just like Esther and Jerry's works, were repackaged ideas from the same root, New Thought. It was perfect, to promise you health, wealth, love, and abundance all in one go, to package it all under an umbrella of spirituality.
That once you discover the secret, that you can immediately start creating the life you want, whether it's getting out of debt, whether it's finding a more fulfilling job, even falling in love.
Rhonda's film earned her millions, and it gave an incredible boost to the careers of the supposed teachers it featured, allowing them to branch away from the franchise to run their own coaching businesses and cash in on spiritual retreats. But I remind you, New Thought is a belief system perfectly designed for grifters who don't care for the desperately ill, poor, and helpless who line their pockets, leading them to push incredibly dangerous ideas onto their victims.
So I thought, what if I just visualize checks coming in the mail? So I just visualized a bunch of checks coming in the mail. Within just 1 month, things started to change. And it's amazing. Today, I just get checks in the mail. I get a few bills, but I get more checks than bills.
Wow. Praise God, somebody.
See, listen, it happens. Guys, I've been imagining it. My brain has been fixing on it. I've been fixing my mind and just getting an alert, getting credit alerts, emails, money coming towards me. I'm even, hoping, not hoping, sorry. I've been channeling my mental energy, visualizing, super chats since the beginning of this live stream. Thus far, don't worry. I have to be patient.
No, it actually worked for me one time. So I was actually just thinking about paychecks coming, and boom, I got an alert, but it was actually my salary because I worked for it. How can you be so dumb? This guy tells you he's expecting paycheck. What's the description of the paycheck? Did the paycheck just come?
Exactly, you were expecting a paycheck because you did a job or you work for something.
Yes,
he's
telling them the truth. He was expecting paycheck, but he left the part where he actually worked, and paycheck came. This is the problem with this whole stuff this guy is saying. Let's assume we don't want to doubt him. The whole paycheck came in. Then there must be a thief who stole them, and then there needs to be an investigation to find out who was stealing the paycheck. Because if the paycheck came from Google, it's either you have a YouTube channel or you have a blog or you have an app that run AdMob or something. It cannot just come in like that.
Or you run a coaching service where people who are able to sign up for this will pay to through a particular payment system, and then that payment system give you a check every once in a while. Something is at bringing in the check. Checks don't just fall off from the sky. You don't just walk down the street and then checks are just falling down. Is that how it happened? Because you visualize that people are just sending you. Is it if somebody if you get a paycheck that is not from somebody for a particular reason, won't you call your bank and be like, hey, what's going on? At least as a good person that you probably are. I don't know.
Funny thing is that someone has ended up in prison because of this whole thing, because she just got a huge sum of money in her account. She doesn't know how this money came, and then went on to spend this money. And then turns out that it was one of her boyfriends she met online they've been doing a lot of trade and stuff like that, and they've exchanged, details. She has, sent in her account details, and this guy happens to be a hacker, and then he hacked a particular company in the US. I'm not going to mention the name. And then she got this chunk of cash. And then when the company did an auditing, because they didn't do company don't just do auditing every day, probably maybe every year or probably twice in a year. And then when the company did auditing, and guess what? It was straight to this lady's account, and boom, she was arrested.
I've manifested it, guys.
Now, this is how she manifested jail time, because she could not pay. Because she could not pay that money. So she manifested jail time. So this manifestation can be crazy, because while it may work for you, you need to go and submit yourself to the authority, because if they come for you, you definitely will end somewhere where you will not be able to tell us the story. These people are really scammers, and it's crazy. You can't expect something
if you imagine getting checks, and you start getting checks in the mail. Ask where it is coming from, because you might be getting it from a source that will land you in prison. Ask where the checks, especially if you live in this country where you can be a criminal by mere association. You ask where the check is coming from. You ask how this is coming into you. I don't be like, I manifested it, but thank God I know where my own check is coming from, ladies and gentlemen.
Just like Libuzi said, manifesting the money. I mean, if there was no life happening, you can't expect money, because of course we all know when you're running live section, money is one or two people would want to
No. You cannot sway me away from my belief, guys. I manifested this money, okay, and I'm going to keep it there so I can manifest more, ladies and gentlemen. So,
but now serious questions have been raised about his business dealings. In this exclusive investigation, Ben Fordham has found investors left high and dry and demanding justice.
A former student of Shermer's who spent $30,000 to learn about the stock market.
Part of the funds were supposed to be put into a trading fund, and David would then trade those funds on the futures stock market.
What happened to that fund?
Well, we don't know.
It's their money. They paid you the tuition fees.
It's not their money.
And you told them that you would take $5,000 out of each person's tuition and trade it on the market.
I mean, this guy lost trading in the market. This manifester, how come? How come he was losing money in the stock market?
It's not even a matter of losing money. He was not. The problem is he was not supposed to trade in the first place. That is where he got it wrong, because he was supposed to think about just trading without trading. And then this is how this thing works. You're supposed to think about trading without actually trading. And then your trading is supposed to win. And then the money is going to. But his mistake was that he went on to open a trading account and then went to go trade. So if we look at it carefully, we have to blame him, because he made a very huge mistake. I mean, how do you manifest money off trading? By opening a trading account. It doesn't work that way. You're supposed to think about it, you trade in your head. So he broke the first law. The first law was he stopped thinking and he took action. And after he has taken the action, he started thinking. It doesn't work that way. I mean, it
doesn't. You think first and don't act. Once you act, you stop thinking. Okay? So, guys, if you want to manifest wins in the stock market, don't have a trading account. Okay? Just keep imagining it. And it's going to happen eventually. Okay, guys?
And they would receive 50% of the profits. They never received any profits. Where's the money?
That money, and come back to the original question.
Where is the money? Please answer the question.
The money, and someone asked me recently the same question.
Where is the money, David? Please answer the question. Where is the money?
Where is the money? You tell me.
My man. Oh boy. This guy will fit right into Nigerian scammers. I tell you.
Most people look at their current state of affairs and they say, this is who I am. That's not who you are. That's who you were. And so you must continually invest in yourself. You've got to grow in every single way.
Your money is nothing more than the amount of energy, paper energy, that you have in your pocket or purse.
Yeah, what's the problem? Two people are breathing. With no pulse. Yes.
Police are focusing their investigation on James Arthur Ray, the motivational speaker and self-help guru who ran the 5-day retreat. Over 60 people were in the sweat lodge for 2 hours as the culmination of Ray's spiritual warrior retreat. It was pitch black inside and extremely hot. When it was over, 2 people were dead.
Kirby's life ended while she was trying to improve it. That's when she found self-help guru James Arthur Ray.
And I can help you. I really can.
The motivational speaker had already built a multi-million-dollar business launched by the popular movie The Secret. She reached one of the highest level workshops, a retreat, which cost her life savings, $10,000.
Do find the defendant, James Arthur Ray, on the offense of negligent homicide as a result of the death of Kirby Brown as follows: guilty.
What? He could not manifest his innocence. That's Jesus Christ. Couldn't manifest innocence. I guess the problem is that he hired a lawyer. I think
that's not that where he messed up is going to court, because there's something you do in the kind of vibration you attract. You see yourself in courts. You have to picture it, but you don't have to be there. And when you picture it, people are going to see you in court. So even if you go to prison, you are not actually in prison, because where you are, you're not actually seeing yourself in prison. Though the judge has sentenced the manifestation of your thoughts. No, not really your thoughts. Is it confusing? Okay, so you're not supposed to be in prison. That's what I'm trying to say. You get, even if they sentence your imagination being there, because of course in your imagination of you being in court, the judge is supposed to say you are free, but it is what it is. It's crazy. That is where he broke the number one law.
Here's the sad thing: people are losing their money because of this. People are losing their say, Jesus. But I think there's a comment Lil Buzibet made earlier where he said what is fascinating about this is how they are able. I don't think that was what he said, but something like that, though. What is fascinating is how these people are able to convince people to really give their life savings. Jesus Christ. That's you are. What did they tell you? That's just all I want to know. Like, what exactly did this person say to you that will make you be like, oh I think I'm going to empty my savings, maybe take another, mortgage loan money, using my house as collateral or something, and do that for what? What did they say to you? I can help you. I really can. And you're like,
it's usually that way. It's usually that way. It's just like someone was involved in some sort of scheme and said, come, let me help you. And I said, okay, I have come. How much do you have? Let me help you. Are you mad? How much do I have?
In Nigeria, once someone say, how much do you have? Let me help you. Just start living. That's a scammer.
You first told me you want to help me.
You want to help me,
and then you want to know how much. And I said, okay, fine. I've got 10,000 there. So 10,000 is like $10 right now. And person said, make it 30. And let me see what I can do. I was like, you're stupid. Make it 30. So this is how these people steal. By the way, shout out to Frank. Someone is saying she miss you.
Where is it? I think I saw it. Please tell me.
12:36.
12:36. Am I saying? Oh, and I don't even know the person. This is from Olabisi. Miss you. I miss you too, even though I don't know you, but I miss going live. We did it once last week. It was supposed to be twice, but we did it once. And hopefully this week we'll be able to do it twice as well. And yeah, miss you too. So let's continue.
On November 23rd, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I truly believed in my heart, with my strong faith, that I was already healed. I saw myself as if cancer was never in my body. From the time I was diagnosed, which was November 23rd, to the time I was healed totally, was approximately 3 months. And that's without radiation and chemotherapy.
Guess what? Guess.
What can I guess?
Guess
She
what
took
happened?
medication.
No, she passed away, died of cancer.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Now, see, the truth is, it's good to believe that you're going to be healed of cancer, but not without taking your medication or going for chemo. I mean, how? Well, let's go on. Let's go to the part where what happened.
You see it? Guys, do you see it? I'm not laughing at the fact that, okay, it's a horrible thing to die of that. It's not like there's nothing funny about, suffering. I know somebody who passed away due to breast cancer, and it's really horrible. Like, it's really horrible. But you cannot just help but at this point look at the irony and be like, can you imagine? You claim that you manifested healing in less than 3 months, and think about how many people listened to what she said and believed that, I don't need to go for treatment. I don't need to go for any treatment of any kind. I just need to do what this lady did, and I'm going to be well. And just like her, they passed away. So as much as I want to feel for this person, I'm like, it's not just that you passed away. How many people did you carry with you?
The sad thing about this, in Nigeria, there's this saying, and I believe it's part of stuff like this that actually will generate this kind of saying. It says, waiting I know, no go fit kill me. So more like, even if you know
what I don't know will not kill me.
So it's like, even if you know waiting will kill you, you will choose not to know waiting will kill you. So more like, if you know what is going to kill you, you just would decide to live in denial because you believe that what you don't know would not kill you. So it's more like you don't want to do anything about it. So it's more like, I let's just pretend I didn't hear what the doctor told me. Let's just take it out.
Yeah, it's like, if we pretend that the doctor did not, if we pretend that the scan did not have the result that he showed me, if we pretend somehow we can pretend our way into health, it doesn't work like that. It has never worked like that. You don't pretend your way into health. You don't pretend your way. I know people, motivational speakers will tell you, fake it till you make it. The truth is, most times people who fake it don't make it. You end up running into debt in the name of faking it. Both debt in the sense of dropping and debt in the sense of owing too much money. So
maybe that is what inspired Instagram to be created, so that everyone could go fake it there.
Yeah, because Instagram is the hub of faking it till you make it. But it's crazy.
You will attract everything that you require. If it's money you need, you'll attract. If it's people you need, you'll attract. If it's a certain book you need, you'll attract.
You attract it by working hard. For me, that's essentially you keep on grinding even when it's difficult. You get up every day and you try to make it happen. That's like a path to probably eventually, hopefully attracting money. That's just how life is, guys. There's no, I know we all wish that there's like a quick fix. There's like one thing that can guarantee. We want guarantees in life, but unfortunately there is none. So the only possible way that you might most likely attract money is by working hard and being optimistic, possibly. There's not certainly, possibly, maybe, eventually, what you have worked towards will yield something, right? You have to always leave it in the hand of the Lord of the harvest,
Bob Proctor is a preacher of the law of attraction, appearing numerous times during Rhonda Byrne's film. But perhaps you may not know, Bob Proctor had also been a big promoter of the multi-level marketing company Vima, a company that specifically targeted universities, aiming to find teenagers and young adults who are filled with dreams of wealth and fame.
Here you create your own income. You can be 16 and make as much money as you want. You can be 85 and make as much money as you want. Why would you let somebody else tell you how much money you're worth? That doesn't make sense to me.
Bob Proctor made several appearances at their events, as his books were promoted amongst Vima's young distributors.
In fact, I introduced my own wife to the company, and she earns tens of thousands of dollars now.
Now, I recommended that she join a company called Vima, and I recommended it because I know the man that owns the company. And there's a company I'm working with, Vima, and I'm working with their people worldwide. Because I'm going to tell you, this is one of the best opportunities for time and money freedom that you're ever going to find. The opportunity that you're looking at here with Vima will give you that.
And Charles is going to explain an idea about Vima, about what a phenomenal product it is, but what a phenomenal compensation plan.
Now, I've got a reputation that is worldwide. I wouldn't do anything to stain or do hurt my reputation.
Of course.
In 2015, the company was shut down for essentially being a pyramid scheme. Alex Morton, one of the figureheads for Vima, later went on to promoting a similar multi-level marketing scheme.
My name is Alex Morton, and I'm the Executive Vice President of iMarkets Live.
Now, who else do you think promotes iMarkets Live, attending and speaking at their conferences?
Mr. Bob Proctor. I believe that's the goal of all thinking people that join the IM Academy. There's such a phenomenal opportunity here.
But of course, this is no issue to Bob Proctor, as he can...
I thought the guy cared about his reputation. Obviously, he doesn't. Every scam known to man, he has promoted it. If there's a new scam, if you have a new grift going on and you're looking for a promoter, get in contact with Bob Proctor, and he's going to speak at your event and tell his listeners to join in and be a part of whatever pyramid scheme somebody is running.
Yeah, and I agree with Lily Boozy. MLM do not pay. Their biggest clients are their own distributor. Like, you've got to have what they call your team members.
If you're at the top of it, that's the only way you benefit.
Yeah. So, and of course, the people who get to make the money are people who sign up for it first. So every other person that comes in keeps giving them a lot of bonus, and they just have the same template with which they work with and they operate with. And I would rather go play the lottery than do this whole stuff. Like, it's better.
Here's the sad thing for me about MLMs is that even if you become successful, one thing you should know is that the money that as by virtue of being an MLM distributor or a top distributor in an MLM company, just know that the reason why you are successful is because so many people failed. You are gaining from the failure of so many people. Look, like think of people, rich men now that we know. Like, you think of Elon Musk, or you think of Bill Gates. These people provide services to people, right? That's how they made their money. They have a product they sell, and because they are selling that product, they are making money. That's how they made their money, their fortune. That there is a problem, their product solves that problem, and people then pay them as a result. But when you are in MLM, you are not solving anybody's problem. You are virtually taking people's money, leaving them, holding the bag, leaving them poor. Some of them Some of them have their life ruined by virtue of this, and the person benefiting is you. So there is no value that you've given in exchange for the money. It's just robbery is the best way to describe it. So if you are like, yeah, I got into this MLM scheme and I made money from it, just know that that money you made is because so many people lost money. So many people are left holding the bag by virtue of the billions or the millions or the thousands that you were able to earn as a result. So yeah. That's how I see MLMs. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, it's all you've said is apt on the whole issue. Let's just go on with the video.
Continue promoting these schemes whilst charging for his own self-help courses and programs.
You are all, and I am, God's highest form of creation. No one can guess what you and I are capable of.
For all of you wondering, the simplest way to sum up the law of attraction:
get rich using the law of attraction. On the 17-second manifestation,
to expand your awareness.
Favorite law of attraction and manifesting apps.
So it's just one payment of $3.99 or 3 installments of $149.
How to manifest a text from a specific person.
And how to manifest your significant other.
Manifesting help for the people in our lives.
You want to manifest anything you want into your life.
Ask for a video on how to manifest someone.
Attract your twin flame.
Money, scarcity, manifestation, love.
To some, it'll be nothing but a passing fad. To others, in a more vulnerable and desperate situation, it'll be their last perceived lifeline, a ticket to escaping debt, a ticket to repairing relationships, a ticket to curing themselves of a disease. And we'll see the same pattern repeat itself again and again of those searching for miracles and those selling them.
Because I know I was absolutely broken. It's the only way I can put it into words. I was broken because of my experience.
How much money did you lose in your experience?
All in all, the guts of £10,000. I know it's sick.
And as a single,
Dude, you £10,000. Run up the score, Yudee. How much is that in naira?
By the end of this week, naira to $1 will be 1,000.
This is pounds. Pounds is what we are talking about, not dollars.
How many was the figure? 1,000?
10,000. 10.
That should be over 11 million.
Jesus Christ. Hey. My God. Jesus Christ. No. Hey, Yudee.
The money is gone. Play the video. It's gone. She'll manifest it back.
I lost that amount of money in whatever scheme. What?
She'll manifest it back.
No. She will not.
Parent, that's got to be devastating.
Devastating is a bit of an understatement.
What is the law of attraction or new thought? When you realize that positive thinking, visualizations, meditation, affirmations are all tools that exist separately from this belief system. When we strip away all these tools from new thought, then perhaps you'll see it in a truer light. An unhealthy glorification of positivity with a lack of care for real science, opting instead for anecdotes and unfalsifiable claims. Of course, science isn't able to explain everything yet. The problem of consciousness is a real one. But when I look at New Thought or New Age spirituality in general, it doesn't seem truly interested in these ideas. It instead uses spirituality to promote great dreams and a feel-good message that dumbs down complicated issues like obtaining wealth or disease into metaphysical pseudoscientific concepts. It uses spirituality to avoid harsher realities about the world at large. it is guilty of the just world fallacy, assuming that positive actions will lead to positive consequences, completely ignoring the fact that sometimes those who are optimistic and positive all their lives can be run down and taken advantage of, whilst other individuals who are morally bankrupt advance successfully in their careers with no repercussions. It's easy to fall into New Thought's overly optimistic and naive painting of reality. I know this because I myself have done so. In a video on this very channel, I promoted the works of Eckhart Tolle, and although Tolle's books steer more towards Eastern and Taoist philosophy, I didn't realize that what I was promoting was still a gateway into New Thought. My message here is not that you should abandon your goals, visions, or dreams, but that you should be wary of an industry that uses unfalsifiable claims and an unimaginable amount of pseudoscience to generate millions in revenue. Critical thinking is a skill, and it should be honed and practiced. From looking at the New Thought movement's tendency to attract those who have questionable intentions, to its incredibly harmful claims about health and medicine, and its constant habit of victim blaming, it should be met with extreme scrutiny. And a series like this isn't going to stop this ever-growing industry. But my hope is that it gets you to see another side to this belief system, whether you yourself believe in it or whether you know someone who does. Because at some point, I'm certain, you will encounter New Thoughts or New Age spirituality, whether it be on the train home from work, whilst talking to a friend, or scrolling through your social media feed. If this series gets you to do anything in that moment, it's this: to stop and think critically. No matter how vulnerable your situation, to not let someone bypass your reason and logic. To be able to spot when someone is promising you a dream, to spot when someone is presenting you a crumb of truth so that you accept their larger, more extreme claims as truth too. To spot all of this and to be able to see through the illusion. An illusion masquerading as truth, using pseudoscience, spirituality, and a feel-good message as bait.
That's essentially the end. What is remaining in the video is James Jani telling you to subscribe to his channel, his Patreon, and all whatnot. You can go to his channel and do all of that. Link in his channel. And yeah, and yes, this I believe this was a good continuation from what we discussed. When was that? What we discussed.
I think that was last week Wednesday.
What we discussed last week Wednesday that had to do with prosperity gospel. And I just want people to understand that it's not just prosperity gospel. Anything can be used. Just to help people understand that anything can be used to exploit people and take advantage of them and sell them, horse crap. Just sell them lies upon lies upon lies. And tell them that you can just dream it and manifest it. All you have to do is sign up for my course or join my scheme and join my company. You use this to lure people into doing ridiculous things, promising them that they will make a whole lot of money. It happens often and often and often. And people who find themselves in vulnerable situation, whether you find yourself in the church or you find yourself on campus, wherever you find yourself, once you're in that vulnerable situation, you become susceptible to this kind of stuff. And like he said at the end of the video, when you are in your lowest moment, that's when you should really think critically, really think critically, and not not let your guard down, right? Don't let your guard down and then let someone take advantage of you in those moments. That's something that you should keep in mind. Okay, critical thinking is very important. And there's something that one of you guys said in the comments, which is about the lady with the pink hair. The truth is, of course, there's the stereotype around people with pink hair, and maybe there is some truth to that. But I've seen people who are really smart, intelligent, brilliant people fall for this nonsense. I've known people who you consider to be really intelligent, like really smart guys, fall for this. Not just fall for it, but become propagators of it and really buy into it.
And finally suffered for it.
Yeah, and suffer series, of course. Yes. Yes, it has detrimental result. And John is asking if we are brothers. Yes, we are. We are brothers. And that's where we close the curtain. I promise you that we are not. What's wrong with my throat today? I promise you that we are not going to see the 2 hours.
Manifest a clear truth and you get it.
I manifest a clear truth. I manifest it.
That's it, man.
And there you have it, guys. It works like magic. Always, all the time, never fails. So, guys, don't manifest the likes, okay? Actually like this video. Actually, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And yeah. So we have come to what I believe will be the end of this video. If I don't stop talking. Yudee, I believe you have a long day tomorrow, and I think I have that too. Okay, a couple of things I want to say before I leave. Yes, if you've noticed and you have been somebody who follow my videos, you see that the number of videos I've been posting, I've reduced the number. Like for the past how many days, I've not made any post or uploaded any video, and it's because I am working on something, right? My channel is going to not just we are going to take a different approach, right, with my channel. And yes, that's all I can say about that for now. So we are looking at a different angle with it, but not a completely different angle. Okay, I'm still going to talk about the things that I like to talk about. I'm still going to talk about popular events. I'm going to talk about, and just one of the things we are planning to do is focus more on a particular topic or a particular set of topics, right, and not be all over the place. But the live stream is also going to continue, and things are only going to get better. We are going to go up from here. I strongly believe, and I'm happy. I am grateful that each and every one of you have joined us on this journey, and we are able to get there because of you. All right. Is there anything you want to say before we?
Yeah, just like I said, there's nothing bad in having high hopes. Being positive about what is happening. You're trying to, do. If you have a goal you want to chase it with high hopes. Like, have that positive attitude towards it. But hey, also be realistic about it. I mean, you can't manifest what you're not working towards. At least you should work towards it first. So if you're just going to say, I'm not sick, even when the doctor say you are, and you're not taking any medication, I mean, you are not manifesting nothing. Whatever you're trying to manifest is not going to come, and you alone will bear the blame. The universe won't bear anything whatsoever. Instead, any person will go. They just dig the ground and put the person inside. So please, it's very important that you work towards whatever you want to manifest. Work towards it, and if it happens, fine. If it doesn't happen, learn from the mistake and keep pushing and be resilient and be consistent with what you're doing, and you'll be fine. That's just all I have to say.
This is from Mr. DJ Fly High. All right. The irony with manifest thinking is that we are constantly fed with messages like be positive, hopeful for the future. Also, do you have a Discord server? I don't have a Discord server, and yeah, that's the funny thing. There is something to the message of being positive and being hopeful, and not allowing the negativity around you to affect you, right? To try as much as possible to stay optimistic, stay hopeful, because believe me, hope is very important. Hope is very important in this world filled with so much darkness. It's good to have the light of hope in your life. Okay, you cannot even be able to really be functional in society if you're not hopeful. That's how I see it. Like if you find yourself feeling constantly hopeless, you cannot actively and positively participate in society. So it's necessary. There is something to that, right? But beyond that, it doesn't mean that if you are hopeful, then that's one thing I like about the teaching of the Bible. The Bible does not tell you be hopeful, because if you are hopeful, things are going to look bad. Instead, it will tell you, say, be hopeful even in spite of the bad things. Be thankful even in the midst of the hardship, because somehow he helps you to somehow find a way to function despite of it. Find something to move, to keep you moving, even in the midst of hardship and in the midst of problem. And that's something that you need in life. That's what purpose, meaning, and positive thinking is for, to help you keep moving. Okay. And that moving is necessary. Acting is necessary. Taking active steps are necessary. And that should not be, tossed aside because somehow somebody tells you, okay, you just have to, all you have to do is just think it. Anybody who is telling you that is lying to you. All right, we've stayed too long on this mountain. And with that being said, thank you guys, and have a very wonderful day, very wonderful night, very wonderful afternoon. Peace.
Bye, guys.